Mixing with my career building tip, meeting deadlines. This is something that is become increasingly more difficult and something that I've personally struggled with in terms of really just being realistic about what I'm capable of doing, how much I have on my plate, and what I can actually handle. And the issue that you have when you're actually taking on work and doing things is that, can you actually meet the timeline that the client is asking for? And this becomes a real thing of professionalism. You don't want to get into a situation where you're always making excuses for the 85 other things that are going on in your life that may have held you up from being able to finish that mix or finish that mastering job or finish those overdubs or vocal edits or pitch correction or whatever it was that you were hired to do. The idea is that you need to be realistic about the fact that things most of the time don't work in the ideal scenario that you always think they will. So, in other words, if you have the mentality that that it takes you, like, the fastest you've done a mix is, say, 6 hours, that you've done a 48 track mix, and then you get this idea that every 48 track mix is going to take you 6 hours to do, that's completely crazy, because every mix will present different challenges. Some will go easy, some will be more difficult. And you can never completely gauge what it is or how long things are going to take. It's really the most difficult thing to do with music and any kind of creative process, because it's not like you have some kind of automated thing where you don't have to think anything except for technical. So if you were just putting stamps on envelopes and you figured out how many stamps you could put on envelopes, and you could calculate how many you can do in a minute, you could just say, I'm going to dedicate this hour to putting stamps on envelopes, and you would get really fast at it. You would know exactly how many envelopes per hour you could put out. But you can't actually do that same type of math for how many tracks you can mix per hour. It doesn't work that way. Now, by the process of doing it over and over again, you get better at it, you get quicker at it, you make quicker decisions, and you learn shortcuts and ways of getting the same quality sound faster. And this is a big part of being a professional and getting your job done and doing work. And the top people in this industry are very, very good at that. They've created formulas for the way that they work, and that becomes the basis or the starting point where, the majority of work is already done, and then all they have to do is go in and be kind of creative with whatever's left over. So it's important to really understand the fact that things most of the time will not work ideally, and that you want to kind of plan out your scheduling according and give an honest assessment for when you will be able to deliver something. Be sure that you can arrange your schedule or make things happen accordingly, so that when someone calls you and asks you to complete something within a certain time, if you're always delivering your results on time, then they'll keep going back to you, because they'll know that they'll get consistent good results from you. They know that they'll get the product on time when they ask for it. And that is really, you can never underestimate that. If you constantly deliver things late, you will lose those clients eventually. It's just kind of the way that it works. And it's not a personal thing. They may love your work, but they also don't want to deal with the inconvenience of things always falling behind. So there's my mixing with my career building tip. Meeting deadlines, very important.